YouTubing friends. Yes, I'm giving my 5 penny worth onto the Bear 650 release. And I wanted to make this because I just think this is a fabulous looking bike. And where I think Enfield have been really clever here, although it's based on the Interceptor platform, it's very appreciably different, and they put a lot of extra pieces on here, or changed enough to make it look like an individual standalone product, separate from the Interceptor. So we've got the inverted front short forks. They've got more travel, that 130mm instead of 110. The rear shock goes to 115 from 88, so that's a lot. We've got the 2-in-1 exhaust on here. How cool is that? I don't know whether it would have been nice if it had gone up the sides. I like the scrambler look, but you know, sometimes some things you can, some things you can't, isn't there, really? The problem with side pipes is that they burn your leg. But it is based on the Interceptor platform. Other differences, main differences we've got, it's got a slightly longer wheelbase apparently, and I think that's to do with the headstock. The headstock's been strengthened, so it may have changed the rake angle slightly, but and that will make it handle slightly differently to the Interceptor. We've got 19 and 17-inch wheels, 19 on the front, so that gives it a bit more off-road purpose compared to the dual 18 inches on the Interceptor. So they have given it some more off-road capability, this bike, and I think there's a difference to the handlebar angle and how the handlebars come up a little bit more on here, almost like they've got bar risers on. So you know, there's quite a few appreciable differences on here, and I think that's been really clever. They've also given it switchable ABS on the back, so you can switch the ABS off, which you can't do on the normal Interceptor. You certainly can't do it on mine. So they have thought about this bike. So impressive, to say the least. They've also geared it slightly differently. Now they do say that it's got more torque than the standard Interceptor. It's about another 6 Nm of torque. But that's because they've changed the gearing on it, so the final drive is different, so it will change the torque setting. So I don't think it's anything done to the engine, it's just actually a gearing fix on that. The rear shocks don't have the piggybacks like they do on the Interceptor. I'm not sure about that. They're showers all round, so we've got a shower front and rear suspension on here. So again, it is an upgrade on the standard Interceptor, and you've got that lovely little tip up at the back of the frame, because the frame is really a major part of the look of this bike now, which is really good. I like that. That's very deliberate, and I think it works really well, particularly in the green, because it gives you that look of the old trials bikes, doesn't it? Like the Bantam trials, and that little tip up at the back. It's lovely. Really, really like that. The tank is the same as the Interceptor, so there's no difference there. But they've really gone to town on the styling here. You know, it's that less is more, isn't it? Or less is less, really. But I think Enfield are incredibly clever at this sort of stuff. And you know, where will this bike fit in now? Because you know, you've got a 650 twin, which is similar power to the 400 Triumph, but it's going to be in a similar price range, which I'll come to in a sec. So we've got the different dial. Now this is probably a bit of bone of contention for a lot of people. I do like this binnacle, and you can have analog on there and all the rest of it, but it will give you Apple CarPlay and your navigation. But some people will say, well, I prefer to have the analog clocks. I think the problem with doing that is that people will just think, well, it's just an Interceptor in a different skirt, where I think this is much more than that. I think this is much more than that. So they had to give it, you know, make it really define it separately in the range. I think what will be interesting is how this functions along the Gorilla, because I think people will probably gravitate to this rather than the Gorilla in the UK. And I did say when I did my review of the Gorilla that I didn't think it was going to work that well in the UK, whereas I think this will. I think this will really woo a lot of the UK riders because of the price. Now I've seen the price that coming out in the Indian Times today saying it's going to be $6,850. So probably in the UK, interesting. I think in UK it'd be about 6,000, just under 6. We've got lots of different colours coming in as well. I just threw that slide in there. But I think if they price it right, it's going to be dangerously close to the Triumph. And I think this is going to take a lot of sales away from the Triumph. I really do. You know, what do you think, guys? I love it. I'm hoping that it's going to be at the Bike Live, Motorbike Live, whatever it is. I think they may have one there. So I'd like to see it in the flesh, because it is a little bit taller than the Interceptor. I think I'd like to sit on this and just hoping it's going to be what I think it's going to be. But yeah, that was my little thing. I did a few little specs on there, but let's see how this progresses. This is throwing a cat among the pigeons, isn't it? In an environment where we think, you know, bike dealers are on the way out and all the rest of it, and then Enfield come and throw this into the mix, you know. But we'll see. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon.